Jasper is kicking it old school with this very reliable and if anything, even stronger list of War Horde that we're going to be looking at right now, because this point got a bunch of this list got a bunch of decreases, or at least some decreases. So we like to see that. We have 2 beast bosses, one with Follow Me Lads, a Death Killer War Trike with Super Cyborg body, kicking it back to Index Edition right there, boys. Ghazghkull Thraka, and then 2 war bosses. And then our Git has 2 units of Beast Snagga Boyz, one of them being a 20-man unit. Guys, I think that 20-man unit is going to be happening more so now than ever with the points coming down. I very much advise that you guys give it a try, especially alongside Ghazghkull. Guys, that thing just blends through anything that is sitting on a 3-up, 4-up save that's getting hit in War Horde on the wall with Gaz Lethal Aura. You're just blending people down with the Unbridled Carnage, re-rolling hit ability from that 20-man unit. Cannot go wrong. And I love how cheap that unit is now, because the contention used to be how much more expensive you were than the boys. Of course, the boys can add a second character so they can get a little bit of diversity. Yeah, if you want to just keep it straight up damage, and Gaz's aura acts as the other character on the wall, right? Because he's giving you a whole nother innate ability for a combination. That's how you should be thinking it. Gaz and the 20-man unit of Snaggas are going to work cohesively together on the battlefield. But you do have that one individual 10-man unit. Of course, 20-man unit most likely has a Follow Me Lad get on the field. So you just chuck it, run. So disembarking from a battle wagon. We have 2 trucks, 2 battle wagons. Like I said, they have all the war gear equipped, but the standout things here is both of them had Ard Case, and both of them had the Zap guns. I like people using the Zap guns because if it goes off, awesome damage, quick dice rolls, run the Zap gun. 1-man unit of Flash Kits. I like to stick on a couple more if I can on my list, but that's just me. 2 units of Gretchen. I like that because you can actually fill out your backfield. One little tip or little idea here, right, that we get from my boy Russell Graham Russell, is if you took both of these 2 10-man units of Grats and you just combined them together, you could put that as your backfield objective holder. It also screens you very well, and you can kind of call the horde out of your enemy. Yet at the same time, having 2 little units of Gretchen, you can use them for secondaries, the second one. Then you have a 1 unit of Mega Knobs with twin kill saws, 2 5-man units of Knobs, and 2 5-man units of Storm Boys. So he still has the SWAT team combination possibility here with sticking one of the Flash Kits alongside the Knobs and the vehicle. SWAT teams are just utterly beautiful, reliable. If that Wrecker crew from that kill team kit, if that thing comes out and it actually works as a 6-man unit, that can end up being a really good SWAT team combination. SWAT teams might even become more viable in this. So my favorite part of this list is definitely Gaz alongside a 20-man unit of Beast Snagga Boyz popping out of a battle wagon. I love to see that, and I think there's more likely to see that in the future as we go forward. Shout out to our sponsors, the Baron of Dice, as they helped us do our wall tactic dice. So shout them out. Check them out in the description, 5% off in the discount, because nobody likes taxes. And shout out to Baron of Dice. They allow us to do our paint competition. So thank you very much to them. So let's take a look at Jasper's path to victory so we can see what this worked well into, what he had to go through as you might be going into this in the future. As we know, 20-man unit of Snagga Boyz are going to be where it's at, you gets, right? How many of you are with me? If Snagga Boyz are where it's at, we got a Snagga Boy emoji in the chat. So if you're a member, but go ahead and use a Snagga Boy emoji in chat if you think Snagga Boyz are going to be where it's at. So starting off right off the bat, he got the Genestealer Cults. We do know that Genestealers at least are now getting a points decrease, because this is in the past when this happened last week. Now the points came out today, so we know this will only get stronger because he does have 2 abominants, Biophage, Kelomorph, Patriarch, Reductus Saboteur, and a Sanctus. He has a variety of the characters, some for the Devil and potential, the Praetarch for he's kind of like their Broodlord, I believe, if I remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Battle End. I'm not going to go through all the varieties because, if you know them, then you know them. If you don't, you don't. 2 units of Aberrants. So these Aberrants actually did come down in points. And from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, what GW did that was really interesting is they said, okay, if you're going to bring a big unit of this, you get a discount on it. If you're bringing a small unit, you're paying full price for this. If GW continues to do that, I think that's a good way to make units cheaper. That's something you can do on Ghazghkull Boyz. If GW's scared of Ghazghkull Boyz being too powerful, go ahead and make it so if you run them as a 3-man unit, you get them for dirt cheap, right? So they can't stack crazy combinations. abominations and you're scared of them. But that's not here or there. We got an Achilles Ridge Runner, which acts for kind of like its support system because it gives additional AP when it shoots you. And then he's running 2 10-man unit bricks of Pure Stains and then a 5-man unit. This list very much is kind of pressuring, surprisingly, for Genestealers, as these guys can run and kind of run into you dev wound. I think they dev wound just like the Tyranids do. Maybe not, but either way, they scout, run up ahead, and try to missile you with these guys. Then aberrants follow you in response, as aberrants are quite durable with their feel no pains, multi wounds, and great damage potential. But you can use battle wagons to kind of hold some of these guys off. They're really big units. And then you have the ability that you're disembarking, get the initiative on them, and then push them back. But of course, like I said before, Snagga Boyz, a 20-man unit, getting that strength 6. You're shredding through some of these guys because they have either bad saves because they're just T3, or they're just going like the aberrants off feel no pains really for their saves. Not much to say there, as being good with GSC is very hard. Very hard. So we really don't know what was going on there. Going on to his second game, he said this guy doesn't like James Workshop, it seems. Imperial Agents, kind of just more of a meme fun list, but we'll just say what it is real quick. Avasor, 2 Inquisitors, Draxus is cool. Navigator, I just seen that model the other day. What the heck? Rogue Trader, Entourage, and the Vindicator. He has some Preachers, 3 of those units, some Rhinos, a bunch of Chimeras, Sister Emulators, big bricks of the Inquisitorial Agents, a couple Sisters of Battles, the Subductors with their shields. Pretty cool. I thought it's cool that he brought a bunch of bodies. Either way, Jasper did what he should have done and put up 99 points on that. Then in the third game, he went to Space Marines. We got the Blueberries running Iron Storm. Let's keep an eye out. I wonder if these guys might do a little better. I don't think Space Marines. Did Space Marines get helped enough, guys? Chat, let me know. Did Space Marines get helped enough? Yeah, so we have Manias Kalgar, a Tech Marine. Manias Kalgar is awesome. I think he's just awesome. He's actually so cool as an epic character. I always like when epic characters are really good, but not OP. Tech Marine, we have 2 units of Assault Intercessors. I think they came up like 10 points now, so they're 90. That seems fair. A Blade Guard Veteran Squad, nice big brick. 2 Lancers, a Reaper, Infiltrators, a Redemptor Dreadnought, Repulsor Executioner, 2 Scouts, and then a Speeder, and a Cladius Assassin. I'm sure that having the battle wagons and trucks helps a lot in this. Once you do cover the distance into this list, you're shredding it. Like I mentioned earlier, right? This is the list that we could talk about. If you don't know, I'll just try to summarize it real quick. If you're new, the Beast Snagga Boyz, as you're looking at this list, the Beast Snagga Boyz have to work together with Gaz, because on the WAAAGH, you're using automatically Unbridled Carnage for critical 5+, so you can get lethal on that. You're re-rolling the hit roll for fishing that. That means that 20-man unit of Beast Snagga Boyz, when it gets out 3, ends up moving 8, advances, and then charges, you could just hit multiple of these vehicles in this, Iron Storm vehicle parking lot list, and then just use Unbridled Carnage, and you hit multiple of these guys, and there's a good chance that if you spread your models out correctly, that you can end up killing multiple of these units, not including Gaz himself, killing several of them too. Gaz is kind of like the equalizer when it comes to something like a Redemptor Dreadnought as well. So I love to see that. Love to see that he was able to come that. I know that iron hands type of feeling thing used to be very, very encumbersome. You can see that it was actually his hardest win to come through with the 63-point win. Right? Let me make sure I messed that right. Yeah, because something like Manias Kalgar can actually hold the line with his durability. So I really like to see that he had that Manias Kalgar. You do need a little bit of melee potential on that. We don't know what the missions are. These vehicles do hit hard enough to pop your wagons, but as long as you can get up, stage up, even if your wagon gets destroyed and you disembark near near a terrain piece, that just means that on your actual go turn, you're already disembarked. So you can use Here We Go alongside to follow me, lads, if anything, cover more distance, or at least that's what you should be trying to do if you're getting disembarked. So shout out to them for winning that one. It's them, they're not easy because you're covering that gun line, right? You're covering that gun line distance. Thanks you guys for getting chat for the Wild Boy. Thank you, Jay Hugh, for using the Wild Boy emoji. You guys didn't care, huh? Give a shout out for the Wild Boy emoji in chat. No one wanted to hit that up. So then we go to his 4th game. Let me get some Wild Boy emojis in chat, boys. 4th game, he's going into Chaos Space Marines with the Renegade Raiders. Keep an eye out for these guys, as I believe they did get a bit of point decreases. Or Gazworks true. You're right. Gazworks too. Thanks, Murder Mouth. So he has Cypher. Cypher's actually pretty dope. Nobody likes that he has the old school fact, making everybody get paid additional CP. A Dark Commune, another Dark Commune, another Dark Commune. You know what this is. Master of Execution. We got Cultists, Legionnaires, Rhinos, and then of course triple accursed cultists. Be aware of this. This is coming. Yeah, Accursed cultists are getting blended up by Beast Snagga Boyz and War Horde. You do have to get the initiative on them, which is why we're happy to have something like wagons. But just keep in mind, these guys can cover good distance. They're pretty fast, and they do hit hard enough to one-shot Gaz's unit, one-shot your Beast Snagga Boyz. They have a good amount of volume. They get a bunch of different stacking buff ability for how they hit. So you do have to be aware of Accursed Cultists if you haven't played them before. If you're going to a tournament, I do suggest you do research on them. They play very samey. It's just an archetype, but it is very punchy, and it is actually a fun game to get through. So in this matchup, having so many vehicles does help as well, as these guys are big units. They don't have shooting to disembark you. Therefore, you just have to move up and not get wrapped, right? Because you get wrapped, you get trapped. So you do need something like a Gaz to be near your wagon so he can heroic, yet just know that he has the potential to die, just like your Deathkiller Wartrike does as well. But you can also just roll good enough to not get wrecked in that too. Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. So Dark Commune isn't going anywhere. You guys should be aware of that matchup if that archetype if you play it more, if you go to events more. So he got 81 points on that. Good shout out to there. Now we have to look at his one loss. This was a one loss that he had, and he went into the person who ended up winning the event. So it's no shame, nothing to be ashamed of. But we do have to look at the Tyranid invasion fleet, and he called this list "Feel No Brain, 5-up, Feel No Pain." Yes, that's exactly how the list worked, and I'll give you a little insight to that. I don't know if this list will take off because it is backbreaking, literally. It is hard to actually pull off time-wise, so I don't think you're gonna have to worry about this archetype in your meta, but I'll still go over some of the things so you can know what it's doing. We have a Turvagon with adaptive biology. That's for the 5-up Feel No Pain. We have the Winged Hive Tyrant that allows you to put units back into Deep Strike. The Winged Hive Tyrant, for most cases, is because you want to spread the synapse range, so you want to be able to fly up there, stage up. If he has to fight, he fights, but he's also fast enough to stage up position and be safe. You have a Hormagaunt unit. Then, of course, you have a Gaunt Carpet is what people would call this. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Termagants, not caring about Call the Horde. The surprising thing here was actually the Spine Fist. I'll go over the data sheets in a second, guys. We have a Biovore, 3 Exocrines, because Exocrines are fantastic value. Who wouldn't want to throw damage 3 across the battlefield and then getting rerolls in great AP, right? 2 Lictors. Lictors are fantastic. Low in ops, they fight first. They have great strength thresholds. I hate them. In theory, you hate them, right? You would hate to deal with them. 2 Tyrannofexes, 190 points right there, and then a unit of Zoanthropes, so they have them long-range missiles to go onside the Exocrines, right? So Exocrines will go, they'll shoot something, the Venomthropes, oh wait, the Venomthropes are not that, sorry, those are the Zoanthropes. Venomthropes are actually the guys with the aura to deny shooting. Sorry, that's my fault. Not deny shooting, maybe it's stealth, so yeah, that would actually go alongside these guys. And they did bring the Rupture Cannon, so the 2 Tyrannofexes are actually the anti-tank. That sucks if you have 2 battle wagons, right? And you're like, you know what would suck if someone brought 2 Tyrannofex. Oh, there they are. Oops, that sucks. So that would actually be brutal to go into, even though Exocrines can't reliably take them down. They can choose to do lethals because this is the swarm, the evasion fleet swarm. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff real quick, why I think they probably chose lethals. So we have the Turvagon. So the Turvagon, sustain though. They chose because we have the Turvagon. This was their warlord with the 5-up Feel No Pain. It's a big thickie, right? With a 2+ save, 16 wounds. She's going to have a 5-up Feel No Pain, but as adaptive biology works, as the ruling says, is that at the start of any turn, if they have lost any wounds, then that 5-up Feel No Pain becomes a 4-up Feel No Pain. So she's super thick, super tanky with that Feel No Pain. So if you do start to shoot at her, she doesn't die. She just gets a little bit more tanky. And then any gaunts within 6 inches of her get lethals, and she can regen some of those gets, of course. Right alongside with those gaunts, we've seen they have the Spine Fist. This is for assault. They have pistols, so they can do it in combat. So once they're in combat with you, they don't stop doing no damage at all, because of course they can't punch, right? So the Spine Fist makes sense because they're in combat and they're twin linked, and of course you're already getting lethal. So there's a good chance that you're choosing sustain for your army wide. She's giving you lethal, and then you're twin link rerolling. This would actually allow you to chew through orcs, right? It would actually allow you to chew through Beast Snagga Boyz, flash kits, stuff that doesn't have great armor saves. We get stuck in, we don't annihilate the unit then heals, because then you have Endless Swarm, right? Which Endless Multitude. So Endless Multitude allows you to pick 2 units that have the Endless Multitude keyword, which means they're battle line, cheap cheap little grubblies, and they get to bring back D3+3. That's alongside the healing girl as well for her fatty healing. That means that you're healing multiple of these units at the same time, which is why you still need to retain synapse range, which is where the wing tyrant could come into play and assist with that. And then you have skulking horrors. If you move within 9 of them, as of course the orcs will do, these guys can move D6 as well, so they can end up overlapping each other in ways that you can't charge multiple of these units. You only charge one, and then that makes the other ones more alive, and they can kind of control the rate of attrition in that way by controlling what units are more forward and not. Say that they want to heal a unit and not allow it to feel, get killed. If it falls back, someone else moves into the way, then you get closer to punch it, then a reactive moves a little closer, right? It could be annoying. And then the wing tyrant prime. This allows you with one friendly unit within 12, they can use a stratagem for -1 CP. That matters for like adrenal surge right here, which is 2 can get critical 5+. So that means now the Tyranids can the Gons can get critical 5+, and it's actually up to 2 Tyranid units. So as long as there's synapse range, that's why the wing tyrant is most likely brought to expand the synapse range, because Fat Girl can't do it everywhere, and you're going to be charging off onto objectives and things. Therefore, you need this kind of overlapping field of synapse range. That's where this boy would actually help, because then adrenal surge, as he's giving synapse out, he's reducing their CP as well, so they can actually use that stratagem and get the ability to actually hit a little bit harder. So I think that's pretty cool. Overall, that list is something that, like I said, I don't think that you're going to have to worry about at your local game shop. It is back breaking, and people don't really think they'll be able to do it, but it is a little bit surprising as people don't want to bring hordes anymore, yet hordes are still slowly finding their way through. So does that mean Green Tide could too? I think if they get just a little bit more love, they definitely could. I don't think boys coming down 5 points is enough, but I think we could still hold the ground like on teams. So shout out to him for losing to that one. Cool Tyranid list. Kind of surprised they didn't have Maliceptors, but I'm sure you can't fit him on the list for that many points. Then he went to his last game. His last game was into Chaos Demons. You know what feels great into Chaos Demons? Beast Snagga Boyz with Gaz, re-rolling the hit rolls against units that literally just have a 4-up influence essentially. So you're just blending them. Love to see that. So he has, and of course he has 2 beast bosses, right guys? 2 beast bosses on this list. He has the Great Unclean One with Endless Gifts for the 4-up Feel No Pain, another fat boy, and then Radagast, followed by 2 units of Nurglings, a Plague Bearer, Beast of Nurgle, 2 units of Plague Drones, and then 3 War Dog Brigands. I played against something like this. It's just consistently. So one thing I would say here is I think the allied units, what would be better off is you just play Soul Grinders, as they have a 4-up invuln, and they have indirect fire. That's a little bit better. So this list could even be a little more potent. That being said, what is this list doing other than the fat boy with the Feel No Pain obviously walking into the middle of the table, right? So the Great Unclean Ones can actually do the Russian Nesting Doll ability, where fat boy goes up into the middle for the 4-up Feel No Pain. Most likely you're not going to one-shot it, therefore they're going to end up dropping within range of each other for other fat boys to come in off the battlefield. Radagast, being the name fat boy, gives you reduced objective control, and he can choose one of his Great Unclean Ones or another Nurgle unit to give +1 damage to, so they can actually do damage and not just be turds. So that's kind of annoying. That's why a Soul Grinder becomes even more potent. The Nurglings work really well because they can advance and shoot. Their infiltration, they create space, so fat boys and other things can drop in Rushing Nesting Doll you, which is very annoying. Plague Bearers, great sticky objective. Their battle line, 2 OC, T5, 2 wounds, very durable. And then Beast of Nurgles, they can keep healing themselves. These Plague Drones are really annoying to come in from 6 inches on you as well. And when they poop on you, it allows unit, I believe when they poop on you, like they're shooting, it allows units to re-roll the wound rolls. I might be forgetting, it's been a bit, but so this list is surprisingly, and these guys are like T7, T8. So you guys are surprisingly durable. I think the only thing that makes this list even more potent is if you remove these allies and bring a bunch of Soul Grinders, then that becomes like really, really annoying list to deal with. That being said, though, having these tools and going first, having the beast bosses, having Gaz and the wagons to kind of run them down and stuff and safely approach them really does matter, because when they do come to you, you can end up just straight up erasing multiple of these Great Unclean Ones. You leave the fat and the gift guy alone for a little bit as you deal with the other guys. And you can kill multiple of these guys in one turn. I've done it. It's just a part of it. It's really about executing it though as the orc player. So if you don't execute this one shirt WAAAGH turn with the War Horde, then you might not really come up with this and overcome this list. this Nurgle Demons style of list. So shout out to Jasper Biski, because that was an awesome run. I actually like a lot of those lists that you went into. I really liked your list overall. It felt really nice to see, and I think it's already a glimpse into the future of putting Gaz with 20-man units of Beast Snagga Boyz. If you're not thinking about battle wagons, of course you can just bring a kill rig alongside for that 10-man unit. You do need, I do prefer the battle wagon still to the hunter rig though, if you're thinking about 20-man units. Anybody out there who's wondering already. So that's just what I would say. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.